This is a soul energy reading, a soul energy message for the sign of Aries. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. There is no timestamp on this message. You will find this message when you need it. So this reading is for you if you feel stuck. If you feel like you have tried just about everything, but you can't seem to get a breakthrough or a break, and you generally feel like life is pretty messed up right now. We're going to look at the reasons why on a soul level for Aries, elemental sign and energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus, why things are so messed up. On a karmic level for the Aries elemental sign, what can be some karmic issues that are happening. We are going to look at next what potential things you can do to maybe get a break in this karmic cycle that you're in. And finally, we're going to look at if you're having problematic relationships, whether you're dealing with an ex, issues around an ex and letting go, or with the partner that you're currently with. So this is for Aries, elemental sign and energy. Almost ready, guys. We have the card that says depression. So this is for Aries who feel like life is pretty messed up right now, but they're not sure why. They can't really figure out what's going wrong. You know, I think in general, everyone knows this, but the message that is coming through is that life cannot be perfect. Life isn't perfect. And maybe you have too much of an expectation on yourself and putting too much pressure on yourself, that you have been doing this for quite a bit of time and that's not how it's supposed to be. That sometimes things don't work, sometimes things go wrong, and you have to work through those energies. You have to work through that time and not expect that everything will go well and not put a pressure on yourself for everything to always be perfect or to go to your benefit. Sometimes other people have to win. Sometimes people have to lose. Sometimes you can find a space in between, and it's all relative, the degrees of winning and losing. Some things are critical and some things are less critical. So it's really about trying to separate out the priorities and understand what's most important to you and where you should focus your energy. So this is the overall prevailing theme right now for the soul energy message. There's no timestamp on this. When you find this, it will be your time to find it and to listen to it. That seems to be the energy for the Aries elemental sign, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus, that they have some perfectionistic standard for themselves right now that you may be trying to deal with. So we want to look and see what you can do around this energy, where you can get a break in this energy. Again, this is a soul energy message for the sign of Aries, elemental sign, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. There is no timestamp on this message. When you find it, it will be your time to find it. If it resonates and works for you, great. If it doesn't, then it just wasn't for you. This is for Aries. So what can the Aries do? What are they to find now? What can they find now? What can they pull from this to feel like they're finding their way? to feel like they're proceeding in the way that they should, or that's beneficial to them. This is very interesting because look how similar these two cards are, in fact. This seems to be something about a deep desire for something that seems relatively unattainable, or something that isn't for you to obtain, or for you to have, or for you to know. So the Aries elemental sign and energy might be struggling with control issues, wanting to be in control, even wanting to control their own emotions. This is back to this issue of pressure. If you are feeling bad, you shouldn't have a pressure to feel better than you actually feel, or to put on a face that you feel better than you actually feel. You shouldn't have to pretend. You should be able to be authentic with your emotions and feel comfortable with them. So perhaps the Aries, the key to this energy right now, that when you're finding this video, is that you're learning, or you have this lesson to learn to be comfortable in your own skin with your emotions, how you feel, with what you want, with what you don't want as well, and not feeling like you have to be in control. Let's see what else is coming out for Aries. I think a lot of Aries too are feeling a certain level of dissatisfaction because they might have some stagnation in their life. Things aren't moving. I feel like they're fixed. I feel like their life is quite controlled right now, or they have a lack of control right now in their life. So Aries are still dealing right now. When you find this, I'm shooting this right now in the middle of September 2018. Remember, time is relative, but there seems to be some issues around control that the Aries are having to learn, issues specific to control, or being in control, or not having control, or being controlled, and having certain levels of limitations. And it can be that you felt like you've had this your whole life, or for a very long period of time. And you're wondering if life will always be this way, if things will ever change for you in a substantial way, or if this is it, if this is as good as it gets, so to speak, if what you have is all that you'll ever have. I don't read reversals, guys. This did come reversed. This is the Page of Cups. Page of Cups. I will still put it down normally. A lot of Aries can have a type of, I would almost say, crisis, where they are wanting to roll back the hands of time, wanting that level of control, something that they cannot have or cannot obtain. Once time is expended, you cannot get it back, and it is something to be treasured: youth, vitality, opportunity, optimism, even innocence and naivety. Wanting these things back, or wanting access to these things. I'm already having an impression that a lot of the Aries might be struggling with younger partners, or desire for a younger, more youthful partner, or desire for reobtaining their youth, or having a certain level of depression about losing their youth or getting older. And this seems to be the karmic energy for Aries. If you're finding this Aries elemental sign and energy, maybe you're going through that right now. But everyone has their time. Everyone has their place. Again, this is the issue of pressure. pressure to be forever young, forever beautiful. It doesn't exist. That's not a reality for the world that we live in on this plane. It just doesn't exist that way. So it's about accepting that as well. See what else is coming out for Aries. Look at that. We have the Nine of Swords. So Aries are quite worried about this aspect of losing time or time slipping away from them for their soul message, their soul energy message. Let's see what finally is a key point in all of this. And if this doesn't fit your situation, your Aries elemental sign and energy, then perhaps it's just not appropriate for you. If you're someone else who found this video, maybe this is the message that you need to hear, or you have Aries somewhere in your aspected in your chart where this is hitting you. Again, this is for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. We have the Page of Cups again. So Aries, the two different things again. This seems to be for the Aries elemental sign and energy, a desire for youth and vitality, a desire for a younger lifestyle, recapturing some aspect of youth. This can also be a key issue that can help you. If you remember your inner child, you remember to have a youthful outlook, even if you are aging, even if you're scared about aging. It doesn't mean that you have to go through a midlife crisis, but you can remember your inner child and to nurture your inner child without going too much into a psychological brief. What does that mean? For me, I always look at it on the basis point, remembering to laugh and remembering to do things that don't cost you anything, remembering to do things that are joyful that don't cost a penny. That's a way of remembering your inner child and keeping in touch with your youthful side. Also, you can spend more time around children if you have the opportunity. Spend more time with your children. Invest more time with your children. There can also be a group of Aries who are regretting that they didn't spend a lot of time with their children, and now perhaps their children have gotten older and they don't have a real connection with their children right now. There can be some issues like this for the Aries who are finding this video right now as well. This is what just came through with that. But it's never too late, guys. It's never too late. Hear this issue with time. It's never too late to correct those type of challenges or errors that you may have sustained in your life. If you've lost contact with your friends or loved ones or close ones or children especially, it's never too late to reach out. We have the Queen of Wands. For me, that's just almost a confirmation that we're talking about the Aries going through this and knowing that they'll find themselves again in a way that somehow they feel like they can balance this back out, even though they may be going through these challenges right now on a soul energetic level. We have Major Arcana, the Fool. So once again, I think the Aries has to remember to keep in touch with their inner child, especially if they feel like they're getting older and their body's not what it used to be in terms of agility or strength. Those things fade, beauty fades, the body fades. It's the mind that counts, and the ability of the soul to be resilient and remember who you are, even though your body doesn't look the same on a soul level and on a heart level. You always are the same. We have Major Arcana, the Chariot. And the Knight of Coins. That's interesting because we have the Queen of Coins. So we went backwards. We almost digressed and went to the Knight of Coins. The final message that I'm getting that's coming through for Aries is that somehow be prepared, because once you hit this point where you are struggling with these type of challenges, with maybe feeling like you're getting older or going through a little mini midlife crisis, It's almost at that point or right after that point that you will have uh, some youthful challenges approach you. Some things reoccur that only happened in your youth that you have to navigate. So, for instance, maybe you do fall head over heels in love with someone and you thought this was never possible. Again, at your age of maturity or at your mental maturity, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're an older person. You can also be a younger Aries who have already seen it all and experienced it all, even the heartache and heartbreak, and you think never again. Well, I think Aries are being prepared for that ever again. It will happen again, and you'll have to re-understand yourself and relearn about who you are. So that's what I have for Aries for the soul energy message number 1. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments section. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.